pages 3 to, I'm going to start with pages 3 and 4, then the second one I'll do pages 5 and 6. Let's start with question 1. So we need to expand those brackets. First of all, we're going to complete the calculation for the numerator. It doesn't matter if you use the FOIL method or the grid method, both answers will be the same. So we're going to do 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times negative root 3 is negative 5 root 3. Root 3 times 5 is 5 root 3. The whole number always goes at the front before the square root. And then the last one is root 3 times root 3. Root 3 times root 3 is the same as root 9, which is 3. The signs are different, so it is take away 3. Alright, let's simplify. So we've got 25 take away 3, which is 22, and negative 5 root 3 plus 5 root 3, and they cancel each other out because it's just like doing negative 5 plus 5, which is 0. So the first part of my answer is going to be 22. Now, when we rationalize the denominator, we multiply the numerator and denominator by root 22. This is the same as 1. So we know that 22 times root 22 is 22 root 22, and root 22 times root 22 is 22. And when we simplify, we can see my answer will be root 22. Okay, question 2a. We're asked to rationalize the denominator. Rationalize is a fraction or a decimal, but it's never a square root. So when we rationalize the denominator, we're removing the square root from the denominator. So we multiply the numerator and the denominator by root 3. And this gives us 1 root times root 3, or root 3. And root 3 times root 3 is root 9, which is 3. Part B asks us to expand these brackets. We'll deal with the form in a minute. Let's start by expanding the brackets. So we're going to do 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times root 3 is 2 root 3. Root 3 times 1 is 1 root 3, but I don't need the root at the beginning. And root 3 times root 3 is root 9, which is 3. Let's add the whole numbers. So I've got 5, and let's add the square roots, the surds. 2 of the root 3 add 1 root 3 is 3 root 3. Let's check. So it says give your form, answer in the form a plus b root 3. Well, I've got that. That's my a, that's my b, and a and b are integers, so that is whole numbers. So I've got the right answer, and it is 5 add root 3. Right, let's move on to the next page. So we're looking at question 3. Question 3 asks us to rationalize the denominator. So now we remember, rationalize the denominator means we multiply the numerator and the denominator by its square root. I've got root 7 divided by root 7 times root 7 is root 49, which is 7. So my answer is root 7 divided by. We're asked squaring, so when we square something, we multiply it by itself. It's really good practice to make sure you write out the double brackets. Then we're going to use the FOIL method. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. Root 3 times root 15 is root 45. Now I'm going to simplify that because I can know that root 45 is the same as 9 times 5. So that's root 9 times root 5, and root 9 is 3, so it's 3 root 5. Okay, then I'm looking at my next answer. Next part of it is root 15 times root 3, which I've just done, so that's 3 root 5, plus root 15 times root 15, which is 15. Add the integers, the whole numbers, then add the surds. Let's check. It says give your answer in the form a plus b root 3. Now that must be an error because I've got root 5. So let's just change that. That wouldn't happen in a real exam. So my A is 18 and my B is 6. So my answer is 18 plus 6 root 5. Let's look at part 2. Right, so we've got measurements on a triangle, the right angle triangle. It tells me, so that means it's going to be Pythagoras or trig. There's no angles. The question isn't asking me about angles, so it must be Pythagoras. And Pythagoras is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c is always my hypotenuse, and it is opposite the right angle. It doesn't matter what your a and b are. So I'm going to write down a squared, which is now k squared, plus b squared, which is 3 plus root 5 squared. I'm not going to bother about my c squared just at the minute. K squared plus, now I've got to square 3 plus root 5, so let's work that out. So I'll write out the bracket again, use the FOIL method, so I've got 3 times 3, which is 9, 3 times root 5, which is 3 root 5, root 5 times 3, which is 3 root 5, and root 5 times root 5, which is 5. Let's add my integers, so I've got 14, and now add my surds, 6 root 5. Okay, can't do any more with that. So now I'm going to work on the c squared, and c squared is root 3 plus root 15 squared, and I've just done that in part 2, so I know that answer is 18 plus 6 root 5. Right, I now need to rearrange. So I'm going to take away the 6 root 5 from both sides, and they cancel, so I'm left with k squared plus 14 equals 18. I now know that k squared must equal 4. Therefore k must be the square root of 4, which can be 2 or negative 2, because you can have a positive square root and a negative square root. Let me just move that so you can see what I've done. Now it says on the question that k is a positive square integer, so it must mean that I can't have that negative, so k must be 2. Thank you. If you move on to the next video, you'll see the answers to question 4 onwards.